Hi guys, press start here, and as it says in the title, we're gonna do a roleplay series, starting from the ground up. So, for the roleplay series that we're gonna make together, I'm gonna use Roll20, and basically you and me will go through the stages of building up this cool campaign at the end. But I haven't really had much experience doing this. I've dabbled with this one here, but it's nothing too fancy. You may be wondering what the other games are on here. That's what I play during the week. So I have Shadowrun on a Monday. This is Savage Worlds, which I play on a Saturday, and I go out on a Thursday. Yes, I have a social life. I go out and play on a believe basically at like round about 8 o'clock in a few hours. So it's not bad. But this one is for Rollcon, which is happening the 3rd of June. I'd like to get involved, but this is how I'm getting involved through a campaign. But hopefully I'll be there next year, maybe. But so let's start making one together, shall we? So first things first, let's create a new game. Right. So the first few things I want to consider before choosing anything is what kind of game we want to make. Do we want to make one that's combat heavy, having slicing and dicing through enemies? Or do we want one that's RP heavy? This campaign might never reach or get people to actually play it, but it just bear in mind when you're choosing your system, because different systems have different basically different ways to play. Like you have your dungeon world, your Pathfinder. They're normally like combat heavy, so you make loads of rolls and you kill loads of bad guys and you feel like an epic god of some kind. But then you have like Savage Worlds. Well, I haven't played many other RP games, but Savage Worlds is an RP system where it focuses more on roleplay and it rewards you for role playing and sticking to your character, which I'm an old fashioned table RPG player, so I love the roleplay aspect and like getting into your character and finding things out of character that you didn't really know before. So that's what I find quite exciting. But for this, I think we're gonna choose a pretty basic one. So call me cliche, but I'm gonna go as soon as I can find it. Dungeons and Dragons. I'll just type it in the top. Oh, which edition? Let's go for 5th edition. The community contributed one. So this means the character sheet down here is going to have basically been changed to make it easier for Roll20, and people's like, oh, this could be easy if you have this macro here and that macro there, but it'll make a lot more sense when we get into it about macros and stuff. I'm not an expert on macros, but I know a little bit. When it comes to explaining it, I might jump into my Shadowrun game, which the person there who uses macros, and it makes it a lot easier, especially with Shadowrun. If you know about Shadowrun, you need macros. You need them. Right. So I guess now it's just a name. We are not going to register it. a name. Okay. Oh, I've done one of my pet peeves. You gotta put capitals on them. Okay, there we go. We'll just name it Press Start. So now it's creating it, and it's going to take us into where you would actually play with your PCs. But since we haven't got anything to set up, we need to set it all up, make a map, make character NPCs, and all beautiful stuff like that. Right. So we need to add a folder. and we'll name it Pet Peeves NPC. So this is where we're going to store all our NPCs. So I'm just going to add a few in there. When we click it, you can see that they've just been put in. If we click on the character sheets, it'll just bring up a generic character sheet, and we can make a video a different time about how to make a character sheet if you want. But I'm gonna only use these for main NPCs. So like, not your average troll who's gonna go around smashing anything. Basically nothing you can find in your monster manual I'm gonna make a character sheet for, and they're gonna be an important NPC, basically. It's like kind of self-explanatory. So we would say we'd have what, 4 characters? 4 PCs, right? So we'll just add 4 character sheets in. One more. There we go. Right, so you're probably wondering what's popping up on my screen right now. I'll just explain that. So as I close it all down. Okay. Is that all? Yeah, it's all gone. Right, we'll just bring up a random one. The weird thing, you saw earlier, this is like the edit screen. So your players can change their names here. You can put it in a certain player's journal when you have players. See, it says press start there, so it'll be in my journal if I go into, like, let's say if I go into player view, that would be in my journal, and this is your like journal tab here. So all your character sheets can be there, all your handouts with all weird writing on. Like if you found a note, you could make a handout, write what's on the note on the handout, and bam. To be honest, I'm learning as you're learning, so if I make a mistake, just tell me, and well, we can help each other out. So if you ever I want to make this a community, so if you want to pop on or do something, I don't know if you can see that, but there is the web address for it. So if you ever want to join, pop on, have a chit chat, maybe mess around a little bit, this is the place to do it. You can just jump on, have a mess around with tokens and stuff. But you would have to let me know if you jumped on, so then I can make you a GM, so then you can mess around and get used to it. Or you could make your own. You don't have to use mine. It's just an offer, guys. Just an offer. Sorry. So settings. When I ever go into a campaign, I find it really annoying as a player because I have to go into the settings tab here and change these. So I don't want to hear your voice, and I don't want to broadcast my voice. And that's just avatar size. So you see my picture was there. It's not there anymore. Now it's back. Right, okay, so that's just a real pet peeve right there. Is not having broadcasting stuff. As soon as your players come on, if your settings like that, they'll get them settings like that. So then they won't talk over you, or you won't get double feedback if you're using Skype and then you're using Roll20. So you won't get feedback from that. Your display name. So this is something you may want your PCs to do. If they're let's say my name was John the Brave, okay? I don't care for spellings. And then I press save, because my character's John the Brave. And my name down here changes to John the Brave. So it's easier for PCs to reference each other, because they can just look down at the nameplate and get the right name. It doesn't actually change your Roll20 name. It just changes it in the session, in this little platform we have here. So then other people can just flick down, have a look, which is actually very useful. I've come to notice it when I'm doing it. I normally bam, put that name on, because that's very confusing. I was just thinking. I mean, I don't think there's anything much we really need to do for this segment. Next segment, we're gonna start building up our actual background and our stuff like that. So these will be like where the layers are that we will talk about next episode. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. See you next episode.